So I'm totally freaking out right now because my parents' dryer shrunk my jeans. All my other jeans were in the wash, and I couldn't show up like this for breakfast with my hometown friends. First, I tried to stretch them out by closing one end in the trunk of my car and pulling, but that didn't work. Then I had my son hold one end while I held the other, and we tried a tug-of-war to stretch them, but that didn't help either. I decided to put the pants back on and do some workouts, thinking maybe that would help, but no luck. So I went into my car to have a crash out session. Then I remembered I could just ask ChatGPT what to do. I pulled out my phone and asked for advice. While it was giving me solutions, my phone died because I forgot to charge it last night. I ran back in the house to charge my phone, and ChatGPT told me exactly how to unshrink my jeans. But when I went to grab my jeans, they were gone. I searched my parents' house for them, and suddenly Destiny came out wearing them. She said she loved them and thanked me for buying her new jeans. Should I tell her they're mine or let her have them? Let me know in the comments. I woke up yelling this morning because somehow I woke up in my car in the middle of nowhere. I definitely fell asleep in my bed, so I wanted to find out how I managed to get in my car and drive somewhere. First, I tried looking at the security footage in my Tesla, but there was no footage of me getting in my car, so I decided to get out of the car and search around for some clues. I found this random path and followed it, but I started getting bit by mosquitoes, so I turned around and ran back to my car. Then I realized I was getting kind of hungry, but to my surprise, there was a Starbucks bag on the floor of my car with my favorite sandwich inside. I looked at the bag, and there was a note telling me to watch the video on my smart glasses. I found the glasses in the cup holder, but they were dead, so I had no choice but to drive home and charge them. When they finally turned back on, I quickly connected them to my phone to see the footage, and I couldn't believe what I saw. There was a video of me getting out of my bed and walking outside to my car this morning. There's only one explanation. I'm a sleepwalker. When I was a kid, my dad had this one sacred item, his foot massager. Nobody was allowed to touch it, or else.
Don't you even think about it!
So one Saturday, I'm chilling in the living room, bored out of my mind, and went upstairs to ask my dad if I could ride my bike. He wasn't in his room, so I looked out the window and noticed his car was gone. As I was leaving his room, there it was, the foot massager. It was just sitting there tempting me. Come on, Desmond, stick your feet in. Your dad won't find out. Yes, he will. He always finds out. Trust me, Desmond, he won't. Okay, just one foot. Doesn't that feel good? Oh, yeah. You might as well put the other foot in. All right, just for a second. Oh, yeah. Doesn't that feel good?
I told you, man.
Foot massager, why did you stop? That's when I realized it was broken.
Whoa, my feet hurt. Oh, I know. I'm gonna use my foot massager.
No! So I started packing my clothes to run away from home, but it was too late.
How does your feet feel, Desmond? I'm sorry. Yeah, you're gonna be sorry. Did I tell you not to use my stuff?
So I'm angry this morning because I just remember how last year some kids stole all of the Halloween candy I put out for everyone. I didn't want to miss out on trick-or-treating with my kids just to monitor my candy bowl, so I had no choice but to do something about it. First, I tried putting a lot of glue at the bottom of the bowl so kids could only take one, but that stupid idea was a fail. Next, I hung a camera above my doorway so I could see if kids were about to take more than one candy. But then I remembered I wouldn't be home to do anything about it, so I decided to train my dog Snoop to look out the window and bark at kids taking more than one candy. But he just walked away like I was crazy. So I had no choice but to turn to desperate measures. I built a stand that when someone tries to remove the bowl off of it, it traps them in a force field. Right when I was done, I accidentally kicked the bowl off and I got trapped. Well, at least I know it works. So when we were younger, my brother had this one face he would make to get under my skin. He knew it too, so he would always do it to me. If he ate all of the cereal, he would do it. When it was my night to wash the dishes, he would do it. If we asked our parents a question and he was right, he would do it. Man, just knowing that it would set me off, he would do it. One day I went after him for doing it, and all our mom seen was me attacking him. Desmond, get off of him! What's wrong with you, boy? He keeps making his face at me, and it just makes me mad. Look, he's doing it now! Something's wrong with you, boy. If you ever go after him again, I'ma tell your dad. Later on that day, we were playing Dragon Ball Z, and he beat me. Seeing that I was clearly mad, he wanted to take it a step farther, and he made the face. I got mad and hit him in the face with the remote controller, and he totaled me. Woo! When my dad got home, he gave me the butt whooping of a lifetime. I was on punishment, and I had to stay in my room. My door was cracked open, and when I looked up, I see my brother giving me that face. So this year, we planned something big, a Florida to Jersey road trip to spend Thanksgiving with our family. But 5 minutes into the driveway, Caden's complaining about the Wi-Fi, Kaylani's singing into our toy mic, Destiny's already stressed, and we ain't even hit the street yet. First couple hours, cool. Then chaos hits. Kaylani drops her snacks, Caden steps on them, the car smells like cheese, and now I'm regretting this whole trip. And right when I think we're settling in, the car starts shaking like it's trying to break dance. So we pull into the closest spot we can find, Wendy's. And just our luck, flat tire. The tow truck says, "We'll be there in about 5 hours. So now we're standing outside Wendy's, eating fries off the hood of the car like this was the plan the whole time. Caden's like, "Happy Thanksgiving, I guess." Destiny's giving me that "I trusted you to drive" face. And that's when I realized no matter where we end up, I'm always the reason we end up there. I walk outside ready to leave, and my Tesla immediately lets me know I messed up. The battery is basically on life support. I tell myself it's fine because I'll just plug it in real quick. I grab the home charger and nothing happens. I unplug it and plug it back in like that's going to help, but still nothing. Now I'm checking the app and refreshing it over and over hoping it fixes itself, but it doesn't. That's when I remember I've got a slow charger that plugs into a regular outlet. I grab it and realize the cable doesn't even reach the car, so I find an extension cord and plug it in, but the outlet doesn't work. Now I'm connecting every extension cord I own and tracing it all the way to the backyard looking for a working outlet. I finally plug it in and the car starts charging. I hop in the car relieved and look at the screen until it says the car will be fully charged in 5 years. And that's when I learned why people still prefer gas cars. When I was a kid, I was just chilling, minding my business, vibing with my toys. Then out of nowhere, my dad walks in.
We need to talk.
I already knew what that meant. My heart started racing like I was in trouble with the FBI. What you want to talk about, Daddy?
Boy, you're too old to be calling me daddy. And look at this room. I mean, look at it. This don't make no sense.
I mean, it is my room. I like it this way.
Oh, you think this is your room? Let me show you where your room is.
Next thing I know, I'm on punishment in the bathroom.
You're gonna stay in here until you know how to keep my room clean.
So now I'm sitting on the bathroom floor, just me and a roll of toilet paper, trying to figure out how I got here. But after 5 minutes of boredom, my imagination kicks in. Oh, I was up in there fighting dragons, beating up pirates, just having the time of my life.
What is that boy doing? Hey, you better not be having no fun in here.
No, Dad, I was just thinking about how good I'm gonna clean your room.
Oh, well, I'm glad you see things my way now. Get out of here, boy.
That's when I learned punishment isn't always bad if you got an imagination strong enough to survive it. When I was a kid, my dad turned me, my brothers, and our cousin to a boy band. But there was one problem. We couldn't dance.
One more time, y'all, and don't mess up.
You pull up looking like you know the assignment. Every little thing you do, perfect timing. Ain't gotta flex, you just move like that. Everybody watching when you move like that. You got that flavor, girl, that's all yours. Sweet like Sunday out the corner store. One look and I'm already stuck. You hit my veins, now I'm wide up. Hey. Oh, you're just like candy. Your love gives me that sugar rush. Girl, I need it. Hey. I'm so addicted. No, you never bitter. You're sweet just like a Twizzler, my love. Ooh, I need you. Yeah, there's nothing realer.
Y'all can do better than that. One more time.
So growing up, my dad was my best buddy. We enjoyed doing the same things like watching cartoons, playing with toys, and even creating our own songs.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, 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 my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, 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 yeah.
But as I got older, even though we were still close, the buddy thing began to become a little embarrassing.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, Dad?
Dad? What, you not my buddy no more?
Come on, Dad, I'm too old for that. I really didn't want to hurt his feelings, so... My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, buddy, buddy. As I grew older, I thought he would stop, but he didn't.
What's up, buddy?
Come on, Dad, not right now.
Man, I thought you'd be my buddy forever.
Buddy? Who's Buddy?
When I was a kid, my dad and I had this song called My Buddy.
Ooh, a song. I want to hear it.
Yeah, come on, buddy. Just one more time, please.
All right, I don't believe this.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, 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 my buddy,
Wait,
my buddy,
where you going?
my buddy, buddy,
Come back!
buddy, yeah.
Being a dad means somehow everything that breaks is your fault. So when the Wi-Fi went out, everyone in the house looked straight at me like I work for the internet. Caden's like, Dad, hurry up, my game's lagging. Destiny's yelling, come on, I got work to do. Even baby Kaylani's in her high chair throwing a fit. So I unplugged the router, waited 10 seconds, like a pro, plugged it back in, and nothing. Dang, that usually works. I looked up at my family, and they were all looking at me like I was worthless. So I unplugged it again, this time squinting, because, squinting makes you smarter. And still nothing. Destiny said, I thought you could fix anything. Then Kaden said, geez, Dad, I thought you were smart.
Just give me a second to think.
After that outburst, I looked down and realized the power strip wasn't even plugged in. I fixed it, everything came back online, and I threw my hands up like a hero. But before I could celebrate, Kaden said, it's not fixed, my game's still lagging. And that's when I realized in dad life, you don't get trophies, you just get blamed faster. When I was a kid, I used to drum on everything. The couch, the table, the floor, even the dog. But one day, I spotted the window. It had a nice echo, the perfect bounce. I couldn't help myself. I start going crazy, drumming on the window harder and harder. Then suddenly, the window slides down mid-beat and won't stay up. Now I'm panicking because in our house, if you break something, you better fix it before Dad finds out. But lucky for me, he wasn't home, so I had some time. I grab a hanger and prop the window up. But then a gust of wind comes through and slams the window back down.
What was that? that?
Oh my goodness, he's home. I knew he was about to come to my room, so I just left the window down.
What you in here slamming?
Practicing for my drum solo?
Why does it smell like you haven't been washing your... You know what? We need to open up a window in here.
No, Dad, let me do it. But it was too late. He figured out what I was trying to cover up, and I got a spanking. When I was a kid, recess was the main event. You could have had the worst morning ever, but once that bell rang, it was game time. So one day, Brayton's out there holding the basketball on his shoulder, posing like he's on a magazine cover, and he had everybody's attention. I wasn't about to let that slide, so I grabbed the ball, spun it in my hands, and said, "Y'all think that was cool? Let me show y'all this little move my dad taught me. This move is called hit the whoa and let it flow." The only problem was, it didn't flow. It flew. And of course, it lands perfectly in the teacher's coffee. The playground goes silent. Even the swing stopped swinging.
Somebody's gonna pay for my coffee. Ah, nice shot, Michael Jordan.
I tried to play it cool like, yeah, that's the remix version.
You can remix your way to detention.
That's when I learned trying to look cool doesn't always end cool. Sometimes it just ends in cleanup duty. I wake up and the house is way too quiet. No Destiny, no Kaden, no Kaylani. I glance out the window. All our cars are still in the driveway. I call out and nothing. I wander the house, looking in every room. I check the kitchen, empty. I check the backyard, nothing but a wet towel on a chair. I look at the pool, the water's still, just some floaties drifting around. I check the bedrooms, more silence. Now it's weird. I start calling their phones, straight to voicemail. I know you're not all ghosting me right now. I spot something in the hallway, clothes on the floor, bathing suits, shirts, a trail leading to the laundry room. I pause. Wait, isn't this what happens during the rapture? Now I'm just standing there staring at empty clothes. Suddenly, the fear hits. I was left behind. I start Googling what to do if you get left behind in the rapture. A few minutes later, the door swings open and in walks Destiny, Kaden, and Kaylani all laughing. Turns out, they just went on a walk after swimming. The moral of the story, I need to read the Bible more. One morning, I left my room to go to the bathroom, but when I entered, I found myself back in the hallway. I didn't think much of it at first, but each time I went through the bathroom door, I ended up back in the hallway. That's when I realized I was stuck in a time loop. I tried walking slowly to see if I could break free from the loop, but it didn't work. I tried crawling through the hallway, but that didn't help either. But then I remembered there was a bathroom downstairs and rushed there, only to find myself back in my hallway again. I started to panic because I realized I was trapped and really needed to use the bathroom. I called for help, but no one answered. Feeling scared and alone, I sat down and started crying like a little baby who lost their mommy until I woke up and realized it was just a nightmare. Share a time you thought a dream was real in the comments below.
So I had this epic plan to take my fam to watch the best sunset ever. But every time I tried to chill, something wild happened. First, we're cruising to the prime sunset spot and Destiny's like,
"We gotta find a sun hat."
but guess what? No hat stores anywhere. We finally get to the beach, ready to soak it all in. Then Kaden just dips into the ocean and loses his shirt. I try to help him find it, but no luck. Couldn't let my dude be shirtless, so I'm sprinting all over the beach hunting for a shirt store. Spoiler, none. So I tied the beach blanket around him like Superman. Not ideal, but hey, problem solved. Then Destiny hits me with,
"The baby needs to eat."
so I'm off again, looking for food. All the spots closed. We had no choice but to bounce. I was convinced I was going to miss the best sunset ever. But then plot twist, we find food trucks by another beach. We chow down, sit back, and bam! The sky puts on the craziest sunset show. Sometimes the best moments come after the chaos. What's the time you thought you were going to miss something epic, but it all worked out?